Well, hey, this is Rhonda Simmons, and I am the founder and CEO of the Simmons Empowerment Foundation Incorporated, and I am so excited today. I have a special guest who is just everything to me. And we are going to have an exciting conversation today because remember, we offer messages of hope, conversations that heal, and interviews that empower. And trust and believe you will be empowered with today's interview. And I am so glad that she's going to be with me today. And so I'm not going to waste any time. Oh, did I mention this is Empowered Heart to Heart? I know I talk so much, so sometimes I forget to say certain things, and this is Empowered Heart to Heart. So make sure that you like, comment, or share this video if you're watching on our YouTube channel. If you are watching on if you're listening on our podcast or listening on the radio, please make sure that you tell somebody to tune in, share the link, send it to them because you don't want to miss this broadcast today. This is an important one. If you've missed all other podcasts, and shame on you if you did, but if you've missed any other of our episodes, you do not want to miss this one today. And so make sure you like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be notified every time I post a new video because you want to make sure that you are here and that you have the latest information available. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring my guest, Mrs. Kamila Brown Washington, into the studio. Hello, Kamila.
Hello, hello. It's so exciting to be here, Rhonda. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting. I'm just so excited. For those of you who don't know, our episode today, it's all about why coaching works. And as I've often advertised and I've mentioned on our broadcast, I am a master certified professional coach, but every coach needs a coach.
Yes.
And Kamala is my coach. And so we're going to have that conversation today about why coaching works. And I'm so glad that you took time out of your busy schedule to talk with me because this is not a stranger, y'all. You're going to find out exactly who she is and what her expertise is and how she can benefit you like she did me. And so, Kamala, I just want you to share with us a little bit about yourself and what led you to become a coach.
Absolutely. So, I am a nonprofit founder. I have an organization called Chameleon Professional Development. I am also an adjunct college professor. And in my realm of leadership and education, I am just a big advocate and supporter of having a coach, a mentor, someone who's gone ahead of me, been there and done that and kind of walk me through. And so in 2018, the end of 2018, I broke my ankle. And I'm a woman of a particular age. So, I didn't exactly bounce back
I
quickly. And
understand.
so broke my ankle, had the surgery. I have a plate and 13 screws in my right ankle. And so while I'm, recuperating at home, um, I saw this course, how you can create an online course. So I created this online course and I'm, conducting our coaching sessions every Tuesday. We do a coaching session, but at the time the program was called Create a Charity, and so I'm doing these coaching calls and I'm trying to walk them through like how to create a charity. And so all their questions were, how how did I make money? Like, how did you generate revenue? How do you pay yourself a salary? How do you make seven figures? Like, how do you not have to write a grant? There's everything evolved around money and making money, not raising money, but generating revenue. And so then I realized this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This is really something bigger and better and a lot more impactful. And so that's how I transitioned from creating an online course to actually creating an interactive coaching experience.
Wow, that is so cool. And you used a great word. It is an experience, it's a journey.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited to be a part of it with you. So let's just back up a little bit too,
Okay.
prior to 2018. Can you tell us about your upbringing? How did that influence you and your choices and actions to get you where
Absolutely.
you are today?
So I am originally from Los Angeles, Gardena to be exact, Gardena in the house, shout out. Um, so I'm originally from Los Angeles by way of Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay.
So I was a military brat. My
Yes.
father was in the army, and we traveled and moved around a lot, and went to private school. And when my father retired from the army, he was an entrepreneur, and he had this one of his businesses was a DJ. And so I was in charge of keeping a catalog of all of his vinyl. Okay, again, I said I was a woman of a particular age, right? Um, for these millennials who are probably listening and watching this, vinyl are records.
Okay, good.
So back in the day, DJs used, they played records, and so I would have to keep a catalog, of them. And so he um he's always been an entrepreneur, regrettably not as successful or as profitable as he probably would have liked, but he truly embedded that entrepreneurial spirit in me. And I think because of our lack of financial stability, I've always had this, which I didn't realize it till I started doing a podcast and I started talking about it. But it's always been in me to have multiple streams of income, and I never really knew. I just thought, I'm just that ambitious chick. I'm just that one that likes to have multiple jobs. But then when I really started digging deeper, I realized that it was the in instability of financial resources as we were growing up. That's what's really led me to always have multiple streams. And so, you know, growing up, I and to this day, as I shared, I'm a nonprofit founder. I have a coaching program. I'm a college professor. Like, it's still in me. I guess I just have this fear of a black, of black. Yeah.
I totally understand. I totally do. Because when I know for me personally, I know what it is to hit financial rock bottom, and you have to claw your way out of that,
Yeah.
and that's when you start looking inwardly. Well, I can do this, I can do that. What skills do I have?
Right.
What abilities do I bring to the table that may seem so disconnected and unrelated, uh, but if it's going to bring me some income, yeah, I can do that.
I,
you
I
know
always had a side hustle doing something, either babysitting, cleaning houses. It didn't matter what it was, but Cammy was always gonna have some money in in the bank or my purse.
I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. So you've got this coaching practice now, and let me just tell our listeners and watchers, um, if you are an entrepreneur, unless you've been doing it 60, 70 years, you need a coach. You need someone
Yeah.
who has more experience than you,
Right.
and that can guide you and reframe your thinking in ways that you never considered. And so I encourage folks to get a coach. Um, Kamala is available. So, but we'll talk about that, and I'll make sure I get your contact information, Kamala, before we're done. But when it comes to setting up your coaching practice, what have been some of your biggest challenges?
My biggest, one of my biggest challenges was really following that that mirror ball. You go online and there's a lot of noise, and everyone's technique and method and framework is the right framework, and that won't work, but only this will, work. And everyone's program is the only program that can get you to where you really want to be, and that's just not true. And so I was the one that had that shiny ball syndrome, and I was bouncing around from program to program and making all of these investments. And it really, when I did a post on this on my Instagram page, and I was sharing that, about 2 years ago, I invested about $20,000 in this program just to find out and to confirm that that's not what I need to be doing. And it probably was the best $20,000 that I spent, because now I don't have to focus energy going into that particular strategy or that particular direction. So I don't want anyone to feel that if they don't use an evergreen model or a live launch model or um, uh, organic marketing versus paid marketing, it all works. You have to determine what's the best strategy for you, for your business model, specifically for the season of business that you are in. And that's what's most important, because at each season of your business is going to require a different strategy. And so I grew extremely fast. And I know it sounds like that's like a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. I grew extremely fast. And I started hiring a lot of people because I just thought that that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm making the money, and I've always wanted to be an, employer, and I enjoy the empowerment of being an employer and the impact. Um, but I grew too fast and I started hiring too soon, and I ended up having to lay people off. Some I had to, terminate, and really take a deeper look at my business model and what works for me and for my audience and for the outcome that I was trying to accomplish for our clients. And so that probably was the biggest thing, is listening to too many people and getting caught up in, you're seeing people post about their lifestyle and doing this and doing that and the money this and the traveling. It's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, is that moving me forward towards what I want to accomplish? And it really, really wasn't. It really, like, you know, it you you really need to determine what's going to work for you, because what's for someone else, all as flashy as it might look and as sexy as it might look, if that's not what works for you and your audience and for your business model, that becomes a distraction. So,
Wow, thank you for clearing up some of those misconceptions that people have about coaching and about business in general. Um, One of the things that I hear you saying is that you have to know what works for you. And the one thing I love about your program is that your program constantly draws me back to what is your mission? What is your objective? Does this align with your objective? Who's your target audience? And so those are questions that have just stuck in my mind all year in everything that I do, um, so that I'm not wasting time and wasting energy. And so I heard you say you grew pretty fast, and that's wonderful. I know that took work. But at this point in your career of coaching, what motivates you to keep moving forward?
You know, the success of the clients in our program is my motivation, because there was a time when, even though I grew fast, then it dropped, and like in 2020, in the midst of COVID, I probably had one of my best and highest profit margin years, you know,
Wow.
and I think I probably did a little over $750,000. And that was only 2 years in business. This is separate from my nonprofit. This is just the coaching business.
Mhm.
And then in 2021, it dropped to a little over 400. And that's when I really had to just like really step back and take a look at the model, what I wanted to accomplish, because there's a big misconception that nonprofits don't have a space or don't have a platform in this online market, and we do. And it's important to know who you can identify with, who's going to get you to the result that you're looking for, and more importantly, who has walked in your shoes. Like, it's there's a lot of nonprofit um, consultants and coaches out there, but they aren't nonprofit founders. And so it's different if you took a course on nonprofit, or if you work for a nonprofit, consulting agency. But if you haven't started, if you're not a founder and truly understand the nuances and the challenges and the stressors and the triggers and the this and that we experience as nonprofit founders, if you don't understand that, to me, you're not going to be as equally effective. And as you try to build connection and nurture an audience, um, they're not going to resonate with you, because you don't know, like, you don't know what they actually experience. And so that was really really important for me to kind of break down. And I'm not sure if I'm answering the question.
You're doing great.
It was really important for me to break down how to transition, especially post COVID, how to transition your business model into an online space, whether you incorporate a hybrid component to your in-person, program, or you go totally, virtual, whatever that happens to be, but understanding how this business model online differs from the strategy of having a in-person, business model. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. One of the things you pointed out is that there are so many different types of coaches out there. You coach nonprofit founders. I coach pastors' wives
Hmm.
and help them to heal and find wholeness. And I do that because of my 30 years experience in ministry.
Right.
And I also coach uh, at-risk students and parents of at-risk students because of my near 15 years in education as a teacher and school administrator. And
Certainly.
so um, the market is flooded with coaches. But why do you think coaching works?
I think it works because, again, when you can resonate with someone who has walked a mile in your shoes, and they have accomplished a level of whatever that happens to be, whether it's success, whether it's stature, whether it's influence, whatever it is that draws you to them, it's important to be able to identify with someone that you feel, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. I just needed affirmation and confirmation that it's possible. And coaching now is like, the buzz,
Right.
but it really isn't something that just happened. Like it has taken place since the beginning of time. Even Jesus had a coach or a sponsor in his own cousin, John the Baptist,
Mhm.
you know. So it was John who brought him from obscurity to notoriety, you know. And if you look at any successful person, Oprah, Michael Jordan, um, Michelle Obama, like anyone that you might idolize or admire, there's always someone who elevated them to a particular level.
Yes.
Always. Like no one can get to that next level by themselves because they don't know what they don't know. So you always need a coach, a sponsor, a mentor, or someone who has been there,
Mhm.
who can open doors for you that you can't open, and that can groom you to have a seat at that table. And so
Yes.
now
Yes.
it's just becoming popular for whatever reason, I guess because the whole world has transitioned and evolved and made a pivot to this online space.
Mhm.
um but it's always been viable,
Mhm.
and very, very, very necessary, because you will not get to that next level without someone to show you how to be effective and productive in your area of expertise.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to say to anyone listening or watching this video, if everyone in your circle of friends and contacts and acquaintances know just as much as you do, you need to get some new friends,
Need to get
acquaintances.
out.
Yes, yes. You need to have somebody, at least one person, who knows more than you,
Yeah,
who can pull you up, because there is no leveling up if we're all on the same level.
absolutely.
There is no leveling up. And so I like that. You have to have that person. And if you're strategic about it, you'll connect with the right person, or if you are a person of faith, God will connect you to the right person that can help
Right.
you level up, because there's more. There's more to learn. There's more to know. There's a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things. Um, and everything that is being offered today is not bad and horrible. It is what people do with it, like anything else in life. Uh,
Absolutely.
but there's so much value to be gleaned from people who know more than we do. And I appreciate the fact that you're even here, Kamala, because you
It's
definitely have
my pleasure. It is. I've been
a
looking forward to this.
I'm excited about it. One question that I get often is, how is coaching different from therapy or counseling?
You know, there's a fine line sometimes
Yeah.
between coaching and a therapist. But ultimately, I think the difference is, one, a therapist focuses more on your present and your past, and a coach focuses more on your future, getting the results that you want for your future. I think also a therapist focuses more on your mental health, relationships, and just your overall emotional well-being. Whereas a coach is going to focus more on elevating your performance, again, to accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to, accomplish. So I think that's what the difference is. And there probably are times when there's some overlapping, but when you're looking to focus on your future, scale your performance, um, and elevate your level of leadership, affluence, influence, whatever that happens to be, that's where a coach is going to come into play.
Well, Kamala, I just have to say, since you used my tagline, I've got to put the plug in.
Okay, go ahead, girl. I'm
You
here
said
for it.
coaches focus on your future.
Yes.
And that is why my coaching program is called Dear Future Me. Um, yes,
Ah,
I'm
yes.
just saying. And so that is the link you can go to see and to purchase my variety of coaching products and courses and coaching packages. And so it's all about preparing us for the future.
Right.
I would tell you a story, but it's not my show. This is all about you today.
No,
But
go ahead. Go ahead.
it's so important that we don't get stuck in the past
Right.
and we don't get stuck in today. So many times, all we see is where we are right now, and we have no vision for the future. We don't allow ourselves to imagine. No wonder Jesus said, "Except you become as little children, you can't enter into the kingdom of heaven."
That's right.
Children have imaginations.
Yeah.
There are no limits to them. There are no impossibilities. Can they dream it? Can they? That's why they can draw some of the craziest looking pictures and then be able to tell you a full story about what's happening in this because they see it as done. They see the reality of it. And so, again, if you're interested in coaching, as far as if you're a pastor's wife or a lady pastor, or if you're an at-risk young adult or have teenagers that you don't know what to do with, you
Right.
just send them my way, and we can have a conversation about that. Um, and so, since we're doing pitches right now, Kamala, how would a nonprofit founder reach you? Because they're watching this and they're ready. They like, I need help. I can't do this by myself. I've got a couple of people already in my mind that definitely could benefit from coaching
Fantastic.
with you. And
Yeah.
so, how would they reach you?
So they can reach me, they can email my team if they go to team, TEAM, at Kamila Brown Washington.com. And that's Kamila, Kamila, Brown Washington, just like it's written out.com. They can send us an email. They can DM me on Instagram, is still Kamila Brown Washington. On Facebook, Kamila Brown Washington. LinkedIn, Kamila Brown Washington. So, yep, send me a DM, or you can send us an email.
Okay, so you're at Kamala Brown Washington on Facebook, Instagram,
Mhm.
and LinkedIn.
Right.
Okay, hopefully I got this right because we're making this happen.
We
Because
make
those,
that.
yeah, let's see. Did I get it? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's your ID on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Yes.
Please reach out to her if you are a nonprofit founder. Again, unless you have been doing this for 70 years, you need help. I'm serious. I'm telling you from my own personal experience because aside from, oh, I have this burning desire to be a blessing and this burning desire to help people, this has nothing to do with that. We understand that. But you've got to figure out, how do I run the business of helping people?
Mhm.
How do I keep revenue coming in when the people you're applying to for grants say, we'll get back to you in 6 months? I'm still waiting to hear from one organization, but we're not going to talk about that either. And so, there's a way You've got to have a way to sustain yourself while, if you choose to go the grant route, while you're waiting for them to decide whether or not your organization is worthy enough of their contribution. And if they decide no, what are you going to do?
And if you don't mind me adding, it's important for nonprofit founders to really take a deep look at themselves and at their mission, and determine if you have a nonprofit business or if you have a nonprofit ministry. And there isn't a right or wrong or a good or bad. They're just completely different business models. So if you are in business and you want to have a sustainable organization, you want to be able to pay yourself handsomely, six-figure salary, you want to improve your quality of life, you know, want to create benefit packages, like whatever that happens to be. So, because obviously as a nonprofit, you can't pocket the profit, but you're gonna make your money through your compensation. That said, you need to have a business model that generates consistent monthly revenue, i.e., you want to be able to monetize your expertise by charging a fee for your service, right? If you have a ministry, perfectly fine too. We do need ministries. There are times when we do need free services, but you need to understand that that business model is not a revenue generating business model. There are disaster relief programs, where you're like Red Cross, you know, their disaster relief, their business model is not designed to generate monthly revenue. So they give free services. So you need to determine what is your model. Who do you want to serve? So we're not in denial about what you do and what your calling is. So I just wanted to, put that out there, because I think there's this big misconception that
Yes.
nonprofit should not be charging a fee, or nonprofit can't generate revenue, or totally false. Totally. As a matter of fact, the IRS, and this isn't a Kamila philosophy, this is the IRS. IRS expects you to generate revenue from your programs. It's called earned income. And when you complete your 990, there is a section for earned income. They expect that. And that's why you might be having a challenge. And I'm sorry if I'm taking up too much time, but this is why nonprofit founders might be having a challenge getting funded when they do start applying for grants, is because some point of that application, they're going to ask you, if you are not funded, if we do not award you the funds, is your program still going to exist? And if you cannot not only say, but validate that your program is still going to go on, you're not going to get funded. And
Right.
that was a mistake that I was making. I'm thinking, oh no, I'm gonna appeal to their to to their heart, and I'm gonna pull on their heartstrings, and I'm gonna beg for this. No, no, no. If you don't give me this money, there's no way I'm going to exist. Denied, denied every single time, because they are not going to invest money into a program that's not sustainable.
Yes.
That's why you're not getting funded. So I just want to put that out there, that it's not a Kamala philosophy that you need to generate revenue. It's best practices within the nonprofit industry.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Kamala, the Bible talks about that God's people perish for lack of knowledge.
Mhm.
And and I don't want to marginalize that statement to
Mhm.
any one ethnicity, but we need to step up.
Yeah,
We need to get knowledge.
we do.
We need to humble ourselves and realize we don't know it all. And there are people like you who have already uh, blazed the trail. And so, why are we spinning our wheels, reinventing the wheel, so to speak, and going through all the bumps and bruises of entrepreneurship? Um, when you can just we can just listen to you and allow our minds to be reframed. um, it is so vitally important. um, and I'm hoping that whoever has watched or listens to this in the future, that they will also realize, number one, I do need help. Number two, help is available. And
Mhm.
number three, where do I sign up?
Thank you.
Yes, like you, if you have that desire to do something great and to make a difference in this world, then you just need some guidance on how to make that happen.
Right.
And how, as I tell my husband, by the way, my husband is retired military, so I understand that military
Ooh,
life.
kudos to the military. Thank you for
Yes,
your service.
yes. But as I tell my husband, we are building a legacy to live on after us. You
Yeah.
know, I want this to outlive us, and I want to set things up correctly so that it can. And so I know that coaching, having a coach, having someone to listen to my ideas that sound brilliant in my brain and kind of dippy when I say it out loud. I need someone to tell me, no, that's not going to work. Bless your heart. No, let's tweak that, or to someone that just gives me that pause, that's that respectful silence where when it sinks in. Mm-mm,
And you're
mm.
like, wait, did that really just come out of my mouth?
Yeah,
Because it makes a difference when you when you speak it out loud. You're like, that didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth.
yes, yes, yes. I
But
was working with.
I have to say, I have to commend you, Rhonda, because you're being very, very modest. And I want your audience, your viewers, your listeners, your followers, your supporters to truly understand the level of leadership and the level of entrepreneur entrepreneurialism that you are exuding. You came into the program with the vision, with an idea, and you have just leaps and bounds, like soared, like throughout this entire program. Like I didn't even know all of the platforms, all of the vehicles that you are using to share your content, to share your masterism, your expertise, you're monetizing it, you're going global speaking at international conferences. You have people like contacting you to not only speak, but now they're looking to like throw money at you to present on their stage and on their platforms. And so I just like kudos to you. I just want to validate and to celebrate your victory and your success and the impact that you're making on our children, on the pastors' wives, our first ladies, and just understanding that God is making tremendous provision for you. Tremendous, tremendous provision. And I just can't wait to see what that next level is for you. And I just thank you for your obedience, operating in your fear. And I know there's plenty of times like we're afraid to show our face, to be vulnerable, to be authentic,
Mhm.
but it is definitely paying off for you. And I'm just so incredibly proud of you. Of
Thank
all
you.
that like you have a podcast, you have a radio station, you have a radio show, you have um, speaking engagements, you have like a whole suite of products and services that you offer on online. I mean, there's no reason whatsoever for your audience to not gain the wisdom and to be able to glean from you. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Something happened to me, Kamala, this year. It's not like I didn't know what was in me, but something happened to my brain where I realized I can no longer be silent. I
Mhm.
can no longer hold my talents back because I don't want other people to be uncomfortable, or I don't want them to think whatever it is they're going to think. I realize that people are going to think whatever they want to think no matter what you do. Even if you do nothing, they ought to talk about
Amen.
that.
Yes.
And I just decided, like the scripture about the talents, to use everything that I've got, everything.
Hmm.
And so that's what I've been doing, and you've been so instrumental along the way, and I appreciate you and all that you offer. And I just, every time I'm in a group call with you, or I'm going through your course, I'm always looking at it from two perspectives. What can I learn? What can I apply?
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, and I'm just so excited, and still make things my own,
Yeah.
because we have different personalities. Um, but that's wonderful. And I realize that I am at my absolute best when I'm walking in my calling.
Yeah.
And so I always end podcasts with this question,
Okay.
because it's one of our power words. And that question is, what does empowerment mean to you?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, hmm. To me, empowerment means a couple things. One, it means standing and embracing your gift and authority and not being afraid to be a disruptor. Sometimes you need to disrupt your industry with facts and not just going with the flow. So I think that's what empowerment means to me, at least in this season of my life, is standing for what I believe is my gift and my level of authority, and not being afraid to disrupt and shake up our industry a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. So someone listening or watching this episode may be on the fence.
Mhm.
Like, I heard everything you said, sounded great. Uh, Not quite sure how I'm going to fit it into the budget, but it sounded good. So speak to that person that's on the fence. What advice would you give them to help them make a decision to hire a coach?
I would tell them to look at where they are right now, and if they cannot determine a strategy or a plan to get them to that next level, like a concrete, proven strategy to get to that next level,
Mhm.
then they definitely need a coach. And a coach is going to allow them the space to be vulnerable, and to give them that direction that they need. And I know it's scary, especially in this online space, these online streets, everyone is out here, and like their program is, the best program. But you find someone that you think you can identify with, that you can resonate with, then
Mhm.
pray on it, and then you make that first step. You make that first initial investment, and God will open the doors. God will make provision for what He has for you. And He'll just allow you to go through what you want to do on, your own. And you will eventually get through it. It might be a bit painful, but always pray on it first.
Mhm.
And God will make, provisions. Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Kamala, I have enjoyed this time together and talking with you. It has been exciting. I am so thrilled. I am looking forward to 2023. And I was looking for a way to end 2022 with a bang, and this was it. I'm telling you, I tell you, if this was not indicative of the of the greatness of 2023 that's about to happen. I like to tell people that God is about to take us where we have never been.
Right.
And I'm so excited that you are a part of my journey and I'm a part of yours.
Thank you.
And like I told my husband the other day, you know how you have that toddler that just holds on to your leg and won't let you go as you're trying to walk to the door? I'm that toddler. I'm holding on. So wherever you're going, you're just going to have to drag me with you.
Oh, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
So if you will just hang out just for a moment, I'm going to wrap up this episode and we'll be with you again. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you have liked, commented, and shared this video. Even if you're watching it on the replay, make sure that you share this video with people. You know people, you've got people. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Make sure that you share it because people need help. And I want to say this too as we bring this episode to a close. If you're listening and you need help, whether it's with your business, whether it's with your ministry, with your children, there are obviously way more coaches than the two of us. And there's a vast variety of coaches. Don't sit there and suffer in silence.
True.
Get some help. It is
Yep.
okay. There's no condemnation in getting help. Please do that. If you do need to see someone with more experience as far as diagnoses, prescriptions, see a therapist, see a psychiatrist, a psychologist. Do what you have to do so that you can not just survive, but that you can thrive.
Right.
And so, thank you so much. I'll be right with you, Kamila. Thanks so much for your time. Woo-hoo! I wish I had some canned applause. And thank you so much. I
My
appreciate you.
pleasure. It's
I'll
my
be with you
pleasure.
in just a moment.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, you just made a wonderful investment of the last 48 minutes of your life. I'm telling you, the investment of time spent listening to this podcast or radio broadcast or watching us on YouTube or any of our social media platforms has been so worth it. How you know whether or not an investment has been worth it is the returns that you get. And I promise you, if you are a nonprofit founder, there's no reason why you should be going in alone and trying to wing it. You don't want to wing it. You don't want to go through the motions and waste time, energy, money, family, hair, you know. You do not want to miss out on the benefits of having a coach. Kamila Brown Washington, she didn't mention the fact that she is a member of the Forbes Coaches Council. So she's not a novice in any way, shape, or form. She knows what she's talking about. She has been an executive coach to organizations such as AARP, Goodwill, and the Starbucks Foundation. Y'all, I didn't even know Starbucks had a foundation, but apparently they do. And she has been instrumental in leading organizations, specifically nonprofit founders, to that next level. And so, again, unless you've been doing this for 70 years, you need some help. And so reach out to Kamila Brown Washington at team at Kamila, Kamila, Brown Washington.com. And they'll be more than happy to help you and get you started on your journey to leveling up. I encourage you to do that. And so, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, this is Empowered Heart to Heart, and I am your host, Rhonda Simmons, the founder and CEO of the Simmons Empowerment Foundation. And I'm so glad that you've been on this journey with us today because I promise you, every episode, we offer messages of hope, conversations that heal, and interviews that empower. Reach out to us on any of our social media platforms at TSEFI um, org, all one word. or you can email us. You can check out our website. You can call us. The contact information is on the screen. We want to be involved in your success, and we want to coach you along the way. Our Dear Future Me program is for you. Don't stay stuck in the past. Don't be stuck in the present, because this is not all there is, but there is a future you waiting to be revealed, and I can help get you there. Make sure you reach out to me to see what coaching products and services I have to offer, because I'm here to help you. May the Lord bless you and may He empower you until we meet again. Have a good day.